What's going on, everyone? So I just had the biggest December ever. So I've sold over $100,000 just on our UK account equivalent. So it was about £82,000 in sales. And that was just our UK account. Obviously, that's not including my USA account, etc., etc. So here's what I wanted to talk to you about in this video. I wanted to talk about how I did it, because a lot of people see the sales results, they see the big numbers, and we had some really good margins on that, by the way, which I'll be doing in a future video, or one that's just been posted, on how much actual net profit we made. So go ahead and watch that after if you haven't already, or it will be coming out soon. And I want to talk about exactly how I got to this stage. How I got to the stage where I had a month where I did over $100,000 equivalent, okay, on our UK account. Because once again, a lot of people see the sales results, but they don't actually see the tenacity, the time, the hard work and the effort that goes into this on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and the previous years that we've put into this. So let's dive into it. So the first thing to remember is that everyone starts out in the same place, okay? So I started out with absolutely, and you might be here, let me know if this is where you are at the moment, absolutely no clue where I was going whatsoever at all. Like, I started and I was lost, and I remember I spent a lot of money, way too much money, on like a £3,000 course when I started, which I regret now, but it was just part of my journey, because I thought that I had to buy that. And the reason I thought I had to buy that is because I assumed that I just needed that information, because I was so overwhelmed with all the information on YouTube and the internet, etc. So I genuinely got sold, and I genuinely thought that that was the path that I had to take, buying that course. When in reality, the information is all over the internet, okay? But the first thing I did was just started diving into that information, just believing, having that self-belief that it was actually going to work out in the end, okay? Now, I kept going, I kept working it out, etc., etc., and I used some sort of repricer to track my profit, and then a couple of months later down the line, I actually got really disheartened, because I realised that the profit that used to come up on this repricer was just my gross profit, and it wasn't actually my net profit. So I thought business was going really well. I thought, we were selling and it was going really well. This was years ago, when online arbitrage in the UK was less competitive, by the way. Not saying it's not possible now, but it was less competitive. And then I got a really disheartened moment when I realized that actually that was my gross profit. Started working out my net profit, and actually I was pretty much not making that much money at all for the first few months when I thought that I was. So that's the reality of it to start with. I always say the first year is for learning, the second year is for earning. And that's exactly what it was like for me. Not big money in the second year, but at least I earned money in the second year. And then that compounded to the third year, and now we're in our fourth year now. So that's sort of the first thing. The information, the knowledge in the first year, you've got to understand that my journey, and how most people's journeys go, depending on your variables in terms of investment time you put into it, is going to just be a lot of learning, a lot of deep diving into this topic, and then not getting that much out, or not feeling like you're getting that much out in the first 6 months to a year, okay? Not the case for everyone, but the case for a lot of people. So that's how we did it to start with. And then we moved on to the next stage. And the next stage was sort of slight mastery of online arbitrage, if you like. That's when I felt like we were starting to master it. Now, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't consistent as I wanted it to be. We had good months, bad months, etc. But generally, I was making, like, not a lot, but a consistent amount of money. Maybe £1,500 to £2,000 net profit after all costs. And that was sort of like, the start of year 2, if you like. And then we moved into a further stage where I started looking into different avenues to take this business, different models to actually take this business into. And then I found what I like to call the model for me. It was the model that worked for me, the model that I wanted to continue with, and I can actually see myself doing in the future. And that was actually building my own brand on Amazon and off Amazon, which is actually the route we're doing now. Now, yes, I do still do online arbitrage, but I do it in the USA. And that's not my long-term focus. My long-term focus is my brand. So I actually found, which I think is another important route for you to do as well, by the way. Eventually, once you've got the mastery-ish of the model that you started in, once you understand the platform or platforms that you're working on, that's when you need to move on to the next stage. And the next stage for me and you most likely will be picking the business model that is going to be your long-term one. And for me, that was building a brand. So that's where we are now. That's how we got there. We persisted after them first few months. Okay, the first year, we moved into the second stage, which was the mastery stage of that first model. And now we're on the third stage, which is the mastery of the model that I actually want to be in. And then the fourth stage, which we're moving into now, which I would consider further mastery, is actually mastering this long-term vision to make this into actually a multi-million-pound brand. And that's where we are now. And that's when we're going to include, launching on our own website off, getting serious more sales on Amazon, really venturing into the PPC and the advertising of our own brand right now, and actually growing this once again into a significant brand. So that was my journey, and that's how I would outline the journey for a lot of people that are trying to get to somewhere serious. They might not pick the route we chose, which was to build our own brand. They might pick a wholesale route. They might pick a brand deals route, depending on what you want to do. Or some people stick with online arbitrage or retail arbitrage. But whatever you do, you've got to start systemizing it, scaling it, and getting it to the next level. So that's how we did it. That's how I think you can start your journey and have your journey to where you start doing 100,000 in 1 month. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you. Hey all, just wanted to do a quick message about my sponsor. So Awesome is now sponsoring this YouTube channel. Very, very grateful for that. Awesome is an accounting and bookkeeping service. They take the stress out of my accounting. So they literally take all of my accounting for me. They do it all. It's completely hands off. So I literally have to do nothing apart from check the VAT returns each quarter. Now look, if you want to check them out, they've got a live chat 24/7, etc. as well. If you want to check them out, I've got 2 months free link below for free accounting. And that is all. Let's carry on with the video.